What's going on, y'all? It's J Smoke Reviews here, back at it again with another video. This time around, giving you guys the top of week, my full SM predictions. I did predictions when the card first dropped. Obviously, I've added 2 battles. I said that I was 50-50 on some of those picks, so these are going to be my final predictions. If you want to see how Smo feels, what he's riding with for sure going into SM, that's everything I got in this video. I'm pretty locked in on all 7 picks. Since last time we talked, there has been 2 battles added to the card. 2 battles that, in my opinion, bring it up to being that real conversation for card of the summer. I think that it was a solid card when it came out, a good card. I feel like they've added some diversity in the matchups, some diversity and maybe some of the demographics that would like the matchups, and they added a matchup that was extremely necessary off rip with a talent that I couldn't see missing the card. So for a bunch of different reasons, I'm extremely excited for SM. Will be in the building for Summer Madness 13. I'm going to be in Houston out there, so I'm going to get to see it all go down live. So many different positive things and so many different things for Legacy that can go into this event that we're going to talk about all about right here. So starting out with the newly added battles on the card, let me give you my full Summer Madness 13 predictions. So starting from what would quote-unquote be like the bottom of the card, although it's just the newly added, we are going to talk about Nitty versus Amin. A battle that people wanted, originally, I think Nitty, especially coming off of a Cody, it's been a long time since he has been on Summer Madness, kind of similar to maybe an argument that you'd hear for Av, who's kind of in a similar situation, even though it had been a little longer since he had been on SM and really hasn't gotten those same opportunities. But people wanted Nitty on SM. Originally it was Nitty and Calico, which, man, I campaigned for the hell out of really a battle I personally wanted. I think a lot of people wanted. Some things don't work out right. You're seeing everybody on different cards. So what ends up coming out is Nitty and Ace promoting their goddamn ass off, making it very entertaining, having the fans buy into it. Ace has been on a, I would say an underrated, but just a great run. I had to click something off the screen. Has been on a very good run this 2023. If we were doing like a power ranking right now for Cody contenders, I think he somewhere fills out the bottom of the top 10. It's underrated, the wins that he's had, very clean and dominant wins too. So he's able to get his actual SM debut. Technically, Summer Impact Reloaded might have been his SM debut, but fuck that. This is his real SM debut, one-on-one with Nitty, and it's a good battle. What else can I say? You got a guy that's hungry and Ace, seeing if he's mastered the big stage since his first time up there, if he's able to come back around and have a much better performance. I think he's cleaned up a lot of things since then. I know he's always going to have the stumbly thing on him because he does trip over his words here and there. It just kind of comes with the style that he has, but he has cleaned it up a lot for the most part. I don't think you've seen people say Ace chokes. I don't even remember the last time I've seen Ace have a choke in a battle. On top of that, a little bit quicker to the punch, while the people say rapidy rapping, but the multi-syllabic rapping, the cadence, you know what I'm saying, that's all still there, but I think there is times he gets to the punch a little bit quicker, which it's not about getting away from your original style, it's about meeting somewhere in the middle, because people do want you to get to it a little bit quicker, and he lands a lot more things of points, I think. You'll see him kind of land back-to-back haymakers, which in the beginning of his career, I thought is something he could lack, since his setups would take so long, right? So very excited to see what he does. Going into it though, I do have Nitty 2-1. We might have a video coming out talking about Nitty, man. The announcement, him and Ilmac on Blackout 8, which is a mega match of the highest variety. Super excited for that. Him and Jazz a week after this. So volume, if people are going to go into Nitty because of the volume of battles he has coming up and playing into that, not mad at that. I am predicting him 2-1, just think he's stylistically better, and Nitty has a shaky SM history and could really use an SM win of any kind. Lost to JC, very good battle with Geechee in my opinion, lost to Reed Dollars, has a classic 2-on-2 on Summer Impact, it's a 2-on-2, you know what I'm saying, so could really use a signature clear win on SM, so I do have him winning this battle 2-1 and giving a shot to Ace. From there we have Disaster and Real Sick, where I am going with Real Sick 3-0. Crazy matchup though, you know what I'm saying? A matchup that you'd expect on the GTX, a King of the Dot. Instead, you get a mega match here, a multi-syllabic mega match. They've already kind of joked on how much there is going to be that pure rapping. And even though Sikh has had, it's been a while since Sikh got a W, I think this is the perfect play for him. It's going to be a God tier credited, you know what I'm saying, win. Although I don't think Disaster is as hard to beat on I don't think it's a God tier level of difficulty, but it's still the name. Real Sick is really in need of a clear W, and he does a lot of things Disaster does up to a about that level that he does, currently. The pure rapping, the multisyllabic, the attacks on top of that, punches a little more, is a little built for that URL stage. Your Disaster's URL history is shaky. T-Rex, not a great battle. Tay-Rock, good first, but ended up losing that battle clear. And I just see right here, real Sikh, after taking some time off, after, losing to Shine and all that, bringing one of the best performances that he's had, and a matchup people will be listening out for him more than anything. And I do have him winning 2-1, if not, as I predicted, 3-0 clear on Disaster. And those are two great battles to add, but from there we can get to the main card. First, we're going to talk about DNA versus Jerry Wess. A lot of people have this as a sleeper battle of the night pick. A couple of sleeper performance of the night picks for Jerry Wess, because there's just that much pressure on Jerry to do fantastic in this battle, and it's completely understandable. It always seems like he's been built for the big stage, but he never really gets those opportunities on the big stage. Now, 1,000 people, Summer Madness, I think the few times you've seen him with like bigger stages of people, him versus Chess, he did lose, but had a very, very, very good battle with Chess on, what was that, Born Legacy 8, maybe? You know what I'm saying? So, same one with John and Geechee Gotti, I think Av and Franchise, I think it was 8, and it's 13 of them, man. It's kind of hard to keep up. But Born Legacy 7, actually, not 8. Yes, so Born Legacy 7, that was the last time he had that. Then he had the Lou Castro performance on Civil War II. Pretty bigger stage, murdered Lou Castro. Did good with the 2-on-2 teaming up with Lou Castro versus Danny and Miss Hustle. So you have all these little sample sizes. Now you get a real battle against DNA. I expect Jerry to do good. I expect his performance to be good either way, but I will not bet against DNA, especially not the way he's been rapping recently. DNA's rapping from 2020 to now might be one of the best kept secrets in battle rap, man. He's really consistently on Cody lists, consistently actually in pretty big name matchups doing good. Geechee Gotti, good debatable battle. B-Dot, good debatable battle. Clears Av, you know what I'm saying? Clears Hollow Didon. And that's only mentioning some of the top highlights, not thoroughly all of them. And for that, I'm going to go DNA 2-1, but I do think it's going to be a very good battle. I think it's one of those where on paper it doesn't pop off. I'm not mad at people that aren't excited for DNA and Jerry Wess. I'm not going to act like it's supposed to just blow you away, but it's one of those where both guys are going to be extremely motivated to write. DNA always brings it. Jerry Wess needs to bring it. He is one of the people that needs a W most on this card. I will be doing a top 5 battle rappers that need a W most on SM, so we'll talk about that more in another video, but I am going to go with DNA. Can't bet against the pros and just how he's been battling of recent. I expect a great Jerry, but an even greater DNA in a really good battle. From there, we can get into Fonz and Suge. In my opinion, the second hardest battle to predict on the card. Truly difficult 50-50. Another situation just exactly like the first one. Suge, consistently good on the big stage. I don't think he's been doing as good over the last few years as DNA, but consistently great on the big stage. Just had a great year last year, winning at a higher clip than he has really for most of his career. Between now and last year, I think that he's really far into the green on the W side. And I think his career has historically struggled with being consistent with like winning 70% of his battles in a year, right? Usually it's 50-50 or a little bit more in the red. So I love what Suge's been doing, and it's Fonz very similar to Jerry Wess, except with a couple more opportunities on the big stage. Fonz versus Danny was on the big stage, right? Didn't really turn out that good. I think he's had opportunities. He did do great versus Nitty, although it's not the biggest of stages. He just needs a win. This is kind of very similar to Jerry Wess. If Fonz wins this battle, I think both of them could really now make a case for top tier. They could have that signature moment on the big stage. They could have that signature moment against a big opponent. And I think Fonz has really struggled getting clear wins against top tier opponents. He got it versus O-Red, but we all know O-Red's kind of trending in the wrong direction. And I had Red winning the first in that battle. So would love to see Fonz get a win here, but I'm not betting against the vet. I think Shotgun Suge's going to show him a couple things up on the big stage. I expect a good Fonz, but he showed me so much inconsistency, random reaches. He's good for a choke or two here and there, some stumbles, as opposed to Suge, who I think really is taking this personal as Fonz is. They've been talking shit for months and months, over a year, really. And for that, similar to how I'm picking the vet with DNA 2-1 over Jerry, I expect Fonz to be good, but I'm going with Shotgun Suge 2-1 on that big stage versus Fonz. From there, we can get into what I'm going to just be quite frank with is my least favorite battle on the card, and that is John Didon versus TTop. Now, no disrespect to either, because it's two top tiers battling on SM, and so it's not like it pops off the paper. It's just ugly. It shouldn't be there whatsoever. I don't see the name TTop and think, oh, he shouldn't be here. John necessarily doesn't belong to be here. I will say that TTop has gotten, I think, has been doing better, although historically he is terrible at Houston. 0-4 in Houston, including home. Very clear at that, some of the worst losses of his career. And then you look at John, who in my opinion has been having trouble winning one-on-one battles. Now he did absolutely smoke J Mills. It's J Mills. So a little bit there, but he was good in that. I thought he lost to Chef Trez. He lost to Sue Surf, lost to Ill Will. Those are his last two SMs. And in my opinion, going way back, lost to Ace Amin, although it's a closer battle. So a minute since he won a real one-on-one battle of value. Did do good in the 2-on-2 on No Impact. Can't lie about that. The backstory here about the one rounder they had on Spit That Heat, which I'm very aware of, but I'm not going to act like people were talking about this like, oh, we really need that 3-rounder. It's not some crazy grudge match backstory. It's 2 top tiers they wanted to throw on there, maybe for some namesake. Stylistically, like I said, I don't think John's been doing too good as of recent. I think TTop's actually had a good 2023, but he has a ghost to fight in Houston. He has demons to fight in Houston. So it's hard. What do you predict? The guy who hasn't won in Houston ever, or the guy who debatably hasn't won a real competitive one-on-one battle in over 2 years? I am going to be going with T-Top in this one, though. Love the way he's been battling of recent. Liked his performance a lot versus Loso. Been gatekeeping very well at that. He beats John. He can really put a cap on what could be like one of the better 2023s of really anyone in battle rap, sneakily enough. I just think he finally figures it out here. 0 for 5. I can't see a guy that's as good as T-Top just going 5 straight awful in Houston. And if that's the case, T-Top in Houston is just one of the weirdest top tier things we've seen where a battle rapper can't get it done. But I do think he gets it done here. I think John's a little easier to beat than in years past in these one-on-one battles. Not completely counting him out of it. Not really excited for this battle. But I am going with T-Top to taking the victory and maybe the most mid battle of the night. We'll see. Now we can get into that upper half of the card, you know what I'm saying? These final 2 battles that obviously are going to be some of those main selling points. But I'd say the battles that got added on, and these are some of the best battles on the card. And first to talk about is Twork versus Hollow. Big time, Twork, God tier play. It's been a minute since I think I've seen him in like a real God tier scenario. I know he's going to have Shoddy Horror coming up, other call-outs he's had coming up. And even this run that he's been on, going back to last year, I think it's about 9 battles in a row that he's won for the most part, depending on how you called Chef Trez. I believe that's a debatable battle. Personally had Chef Trez winning it. But he's been winning. He's been rapping some of the best material of his career, looking the most confident that he's ever been. Hollow's actually having an underrated year, even though I had him losing to Thesaurus and Ill Will. A lot of people had it differently, as it usually is with Hollow. I swear to God, I saw him lose. Everyone feels differently. But in my opinion, him and Will is still battle of the year up to this point. Him and Thesaurus is a goodie. I see a lot of people giving it to Hollow. And then obviously he beat Sharon really clear on the Stay Forever card in between that. So you have the 4th battle here would make him Cody eligible, something to keep in mind. And shockingly enough, I am going to go with Hollow Dadon 2-1 based off of one big point here. Well, 2 big points. One, it's in Houston. Pseudo home game for him. He's already beaten Geechee and Shine there, although the Shine performance wasn't too great. Those are big names to beat there. And secondly, they're probably going to be going later in the night, and Twork, a lot of style based off of crowd reaction. We're going to see if he's kind of overcome those demons where later in the night, crowd's tired. They might not catch everything. Is that going to take away from his energy? Is that going to make him feel unconfident in his material? If he performs all the way through with confidence, hard to see him losing, but he's got a history of not always doing that. And for that, I'm going with Hollow 2-1 edge for the underdog pick. Probably going to be my most shocking pick is the Hollow one. Traditionally, I just don't think Hollow post-2016, even though a lot of results go his way when you look at consensus, I think there's a fair amount of 50-50 battles in there that he ends up losing. And if this goes into that category, I wouldn't be too shocked, but Twork hasn't shown me that he's a definite to just fully clear out these God tiers, as opposed to Hollow, who is a strategist of the highest variety. At the end of the day, I love wins and losses. I know that gets lost up in battle rap, but there is, although I kind of talked against it, there is a skill in consistently getting that consensus to lean your way, consistently not beating yourself. And even if you don't give the greatest performance like the K-Shine battle, if Twork ends up getting in his own head a little bit, Hollow will find that path to victory. I just have a lot of faith in him and the way he's talked about this one. I think you get a great Hollow Dadon. A little bit extra on that one, right? But going into the main event of the night, and that is Twork versus Av. In my opinion, I said Suge and Fonz was the second hardest to predict, because I believe this is the hardest battle to predict on the card. On one side, you have Av. This is it. This is your career. I've talked about it with Av. This is the battle where it all matters. You can continue to get God tiers, big looks, and headline looks if you're amazing in this one. This is what it all comes down to. But if it was that simple, I think Av would have been a headliner already. And I'll never forget when he did get his momentum of Lista calling out people, the Clips, DNA, BDOT in 2021, and those top tier looks just didn't go his way. I thought B-Dot did not, obviously he lost that battle. DNA, obviously he lost that battle. He's been better on the big stage now, really, than he has been in a small room for the past couple of years. Is what it is. He's been a better big stage battler. You get the Danny Myers performances. You can go as far back as getting the Arsenal performance. But Gnome Impact threw me off a little bit. I thought him and Fonz got lost up by the crowd. I didn't like his energy towards it. I haven't liked a couple of his comments in the lead up to this battle. And at the end of the day, there is one reason I will be going with Twork 2-1 in this battle. And that comes to the experience of going last. This is Av's moment. I'm rooting for Av. I'm very upfront. I want Av to win this battle. There's no two ways around it. But in my opinion, Twork, the greatest battle rapper of all time. The bigger debate for that, I'm saying, across some people. I think collectively around his career, it's just too much work to deny, too much great work at that. And a lot of that happens at the end of nights, particularly on SM. He is no stranger going last in the night, and it doesn't really deter him. There is some battles he's lost, but sometimes you just lose battles. I wouldn't always deter that to end of the night type of stuff, when he's still giving you battles like him and Hollow Don, like him and Geechee Gotti later in the night on Lockdown, although it wasn't the last battle of the night. Just all types of different battles where Twork's going second to last or last. I can go on and on in his career. He's just a professional in that situation. You take in the fact he's much heavier on the rhyme pockets now. You're getting a new and improved Twork. You know what I'm saying? It's like he keeps getting better with time, which is insanity. Locked in. He's been battling a lot this year, so his mind is constantly in rhythm. He's in the zone. It's like I said, this is the one where if someone's going to go 2-1 debatable, I like to be definitive with my picks to really let you guys know where I'm at. But this is truly a 50-50 battle. When it means everything to a guy like Av, I don't like to bet against motivation, but we just saw last year JC and Surf. I almost didn't want to bet against motivation there. I had Surf 2-1 edge, and he ends up clearing it out. I don't think it'll be that exact same way, because I think Av is going to have some more power on the stage than the approach JC took in a Surf battle. But I'm not betting against Rock in this situation. Just think he's polished, poised, and I'm a little, later in the night, I want to see Av not lose that crowd, stay there and punch him. He can definitely do it, but I'm going to need to see him do it in the biggest moment to bet against Twork, and that's why in the main event, I am going with Twork 2-1 on SM13. And that is my full predictions here for Summer Madness 13. I think a little bit of a longer one here from the way I shot it, but it is 7 battles. And just to fully, re-go through it for those that may have skipped over a part, this and that, I do have Nitty 2-1 over Ace Lamine. I have Real Sikh 2-1, if not 3-0 over Disaster. I have DNA 2-1 over Jerry Wess. I have Shotgun Suge 2-1 over Fonz. I have TTop 2-1 over John in a battle I don't really like. I have Hollow 2-1 over Twork. Probably one of my crazier picks here in terms of I don't know. I feel like Twork is obviously the favorite pick here, but that's the pick that I think is going to catch people off guard. I have Hollow 2-1, and then the main event, I do have Twork 2-1 over Av. So a little bit of a vet-heavy thing here. Usually I am betting for the gods here to get dethroned, or usually I'm betting for those guys when they get the shot to take advantage of it. But in this particular situation where I'm thinking later in the night, I'm thinking Houston, motivation for everyone to do good. We know how SM's been talked about. We know that there's some fans that thought it was mid, thought it was terrible, which is ridiculous, but you know how things are, right? There was a couple things I didn't think met up to standard with that original 5 until they dropped those last 2 battles. Now I think it really feels like a full SM. And with that big stage, now the card has those expectations. You have those expectations. A lot of people are being very prideful to perform on this card. I think are going to give very effort-filled performances. And with all that, these are the picks that I came out with. So you guys let me know down below in the comments whatever you want about SM. Let me know your battle of the night, your performance of the night. What do you think is be the worst battle of the night? What do you think is be the best battle of the night? Drop your biggest. What are you looking forward to the most on SM? And what hot takes are you looking to come away from once SM is over? But it's been J-Smo Reviews again, y'all. As I also said on my Twitter, for the YouTube battles that are coming out, as long as I haven't reviewed them for the most part, I do plan on reviewing most of, if not every battle that comes out on YouTube this week from URL. So, I might have a video out later today, you know what I'm saying, depending on what drops. So keep a lookout on the channel, man. And as I said, let me know what you think of SM as we're leading up to it. But it's been J-Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.